What's going on, guys? HalfClickup here. Welcome back to the channel. A little bit of earth-shattering news today for all you guys who are fans of the 600cc sport bike class, the SuperSports in particular. Let's just say I hope you didn't have any plans to pick up a new Yamaha R6 anytime soon. Now, as we get into this topic, let me ask you a hypothetical question. Were you aware that the Honda CBR 600RR is no longer available as a new bike for purchase in the United States? That's right. And that was actually announced, like, I think last year sometime. And yeah, you know, that's significant. It is only for sale now as a brand new bike in Japan. Now, assuming that we were already aware that the 600RR is no longer available, it probably shouldn't come as a complete shock that today Yamaha announced that it will no longer be producing the Yamaha R6. That's right, the venerable R6 is extinct, or soon will be, so to speak. Now, I want to bring your attention to a columnist by the name of Mark Gardner. And Mark Gardner writes for Revzilla. And some 4 years ago, back in 2016, Mark, turns out, correctly predicted that the 600cc class was going to end up going away, specifically the SuperSport class. All right, we're not talking about nakeds and stuff like that, and in fact the nakeds and all that stuff is what's really thriving now. But as far as SuperSports and race replicas, so to speak, all of those are going to be going away. Well, fast forward 4 years later, and yeah, somebody's eating crow, and it's not him that has egg on his face, right? Now, when Honda had announced their plans to kill the RR in the United States, it started confirming Mark's suspicions and his prophecy, if you will. But he actually took it a step further in making a prediction that the SuperSport, or the 600cc SuperSport class, as far as racing and competition goes, was also going to slowly go away. Well, lo and behold, the agency, for lack of a better term, that is responsible for sanctioning the different classes of superbike races, I believe they're called Gardner, they announced that they are fixing to shake that stuff up, man, and they are indeed going to start phasing out the exclusive 600cc SuperSport class, and it's going to be more inclusive. They're going to allow other manufacturers to come in with what they have that is in around that class of engine size. Bikes like the Panigale V2 come to mind, not to mention the brand new Aprilia RS 660, which is going to fit in quite nicely in that new niche. And so what it's doing is it's opening up the door for other manufacturers to compete against the likes of Yamaha and Kawasaki, Suzuki, you know, all these Japanese companies that have been world champions in this class for so long, specifically Yamaha on the, yes, R6. Now, rumor has it the R6 is still going to be available as a track-only bike. So you'll be able to order one, I guess, like basically a factory version that will not be outfitted for street use, right? It won't be street legal. And so I have a couple of questions. What's going to happen with Suzuki and Kawasaki? You know what I mean? What are they going to do? The ZX-XR, that's right, I said the XR, it just got a new refresh, right? The 2021 has that new headlight style, right? It's got new body changes, new paint schemes available, of course, which is pretty standard, but, you know, so they're still refreshing the ZX-XR. Now, the Gixxer 600, they've been basically the same bike for generations now, for the most part, right? You could buy everywhere from like a 2015 all the way to 2021 Gixxer 600, and they're essentially still the same bike. So I don't know what that means for Suzuki. I really don't know what that means for Kawasaki. You know, where do they go from here? Now, Kawasaki, that's a 636, right? So they still have a good foot in the door as far as any kind of new class arrangement that comes about. I wouldn't count them out for anything. So what is Suzuki going to do? Are they going to phase out, bear with me, stick with me now, are they going to phase out the Gixxer 600 and focus solely on the 750? Now, why would they do that? Well, if they change up these new class requirements for what they consider middleweight, the 750 might be right in there, right in the mix, and heavily competitive, right? Heavily competitive. With a 750cc motor. The other thing, though, is that Panigale V2, don't quote me on this, I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but I think that's like a 959, I believe. Anyways, you'd have to verify that, but you get my point, though, right? You know, here's another thing. This takes me back to one of my previous videos. The thumbnail is a picture of my bike and it says extinct. And the title was something along the lines of the FZ6R has been discontinued, something like that. And, you know, in that video I presented the ideas, you know, the hypothesis that this segment of motorcycles, particularly the ones that are a little bit more upright, a little bit more sport touring oriented, are being overtaken by naked bikes, obviously, like the MT-07 and the MT-09, you know, Kawasaki's ZX6, what is it, the Z650, and they also have like a Z900, right, those kinds of bikes. And of course, this example here, for anyone who's not subscribed, if you're new here, this is a 2009 Yamaha FZ6R. It is a detuned R6 for the better part of an argument here, with fairings. All right. Anyways, what I was getting at is some people in the comment section on that video were a little bit smart-assy about it, which, you know, it's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but a lot of people are like, you know, well, obviously if there's no interest in the damn bike, of course it's going to be extinct. Well, guess what, pal? You're the one with the egg on your face now, because everyone, so to speak, is still interested in an R6, right? The R6 didn't lose its fan base, guy. The Yamaha R6 is a world championship winning 600cc SuperSport, right? So the R6 has not lost any of its fandom. The problem is twofold here. And believe it or not, what I've learned is that the larger aspect of the problem has a lot to do with the new Euro 5 standard. It is not cost effective for these manufacturers to manufacture a separate species, if you will, of these motorcycles that are not Euro 5 compliant. The United States doesn't want Euro 5 motorcycles. It's bad enough the United States barely wants motorcycles at all, right? Ridership is down substantially. We don't have any of the emission standards that Europe has. So all of our bikes have more horsepower and essentially are more fun to ride, if I don't say so for myself. And so here in the States, we don't have those kind of stringent requirements. Again, the Euro 5 thing. In Europe, so many people ride motorcycles as a primary form of transportation that the pollution potential there for motorcycles is a lot greater. All right, but again, it's something we don't deal with here in our motorcycle market. And I hate to say it, man, but again, the Euro 5 requirements is what's really driving the production of these bikes, and that sucks for us as Americans. The other factor here is lack of interest in race replicas. Yes, they do look the best, man. I mean, you know, SuperSport bikes are phenomenal when it comes to aesthetics. They are just mean-looking machines, but you take the R6, for example, where you're basically hugging your own nuts around the gas tank the entire time. Not many people are into commuting on them things anymore, man. I mean, this FZ6R is not aggressive like that. It has the looks, but it's not a SuperSport. And people don't want to be on these super sports day in and day out anymore. You know, there are a lot less people that are buying an R6 to go to the freaking track with than there are people who just think they look badass and like the performance and want to ride that on the street, you know. And again, Honda led the way. That's a good hammer. That's a good hammer. Honda led the way when they pulled the double R. You know, it was not financially viable for them to make a non-Euro 5 spec double R, and so Honda was the first that was like, peace, we out. I am surprised that Yamaha followed. Golly, the R6, really? Just like that, huh? Yeah, evidently so. So there you go, guys. The R6 is no more, and furthermore, as discussed, right, in summary, the 600cc class professional racing is gonna go away to a degree. Now, you can make the argument that what it's gonna do really is make that class-ish, right, that genre, more exciting to watch, more competitive, anyways. Kawasaki's always has wow, I couldn't see that light, that's my bad. Kawasaki has always had its edge with the extra 36 cc's, and of course Yamaha has always had its edge with the top-end power band punch that the R6 has. But now you start throwing in these other bikes that have other advantages, like the RS660, who is going to be a rocket in and out of turns. Not so much the top end, but you know, it's going to be a trade-off, guys. You know, if the RS660 and I don't mean to start making this video about the Aprilia just because I want one, but suddenly the RS660 is going to be, and other bikes like it are going to be a lot more relevant in the smaller CC class. Now, we kind of come full circle all the way around here and briefly discuss the leader bikes, right? What's going to happen with them? Of course, that's MotoGP, that's World Superbike. The 1000cc machines are not going anywhere as far as the professional racing series, but it begs the question, are they still going to produce race replica leader bikes for the street? Where's the R1 going? Yeah, where's the Gixxer 1000 going? Where is the ZX10R going to go? Is there still going to be a place on the streets of the United States for leader bike race replicas? I don't know. I guess time will tell. As something tells me is that we're going to find out soon enough. And my final question, my final point to make here, and please drop comments down below and let me know what you think, because I really don't know what to think about this part. What the hell's going to happen to the value of the R6? You know what I mean? If you can't buy a brand new one anymore, just like you can't buy an FZ6R anymore, it's a bike that's still going to be in high demand, but that you can't get brand new anymore. So what's it going to do for the value of the later model motorcycles? You know what I mean? Like a 2019 or 2020, what's that going to do for their value? Well, I guess they'll still hold 100% value for the ones that are on the showroom floor, like no matter what. As long as they're on the showroom floor, they'll still be full retail price. That's my prediction, I guess. But yeah, what do you think? Drop a comment down below. What is it going to do for the value? And especially if other 600cc SuperSports start going by the wayside. The double R already has. Now, I haven't looked to see what that economic impact has had on sales of the double R, and as far as what their price points are nowadays, I have no idea. So anyways, drop a comment down below on the value aspect, what that's going to potentially do for these bikes. And that's basically all I have to say about all of that. That's a little bit heartbreaking, you know. I don't know that I ever 100% plan on owning an R6. I've never even ridden an R6, but you know, the potential was always there. Anyways, I am curious about your thoughts, folks. Comment down below if you like this content, like the topic. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, boys and girls, this has been me, and that's been you. It's Half Click Up. I'm out of here. Catch you on the next one. Peace and goodbye.